look and feel real, but watch out. They're bogus.
You got to be careful. As investigative reporter Jeff Cole tells us tonight, they could be heading your way. Here's our Fox Undercover report.
We're talking about fake checks. And the U.S. Postal Service says thousands of them are on their way to unsuspecting consumers who've been fooled on the Internet. You think you can't be fooled? Well, check this out.
It's a beautiful place. Hardwood floors, 2 floors, everything you could want in an apartment.
It's a nice apartment, all right. So this is the room that was for rent?
Yep, this is the bedroom. Whoever wants it can have it.
But unless 23-year-old Andreas Williams can find a new roommate, and fast, it's back to Mom. And you're willing to have him back home, but...
I'm willing to have him back home, but he wants to be independent, and nobody wants to move back home.
Andreas's need for speed began after his mother, Sharon, placed this ad for a roommate on the popular website Craigslist. Andreas needed a roomie to help pay the rent. So you post the ad. You get any response?
I got a response from someone named Brenda. She said she lived in the UK. She was coming here for 6 months to a year for vacation. She needed a place to stay.
Sharon and Brenda exchanged emails. Brenda even sent some photos.
I showed the pictures to everyone, my friends, of course, a bunch of guys said, yeah, bring her in, bring her in.
So your search for your son's roommate, you're thinking, is pretty much over at this point.
Correct.
And this
we
is
found
good.
her.
This is good news.
Yes.
He's going to be able to stay in this nice apartment.
Correct.
Didn't turn out that way.
No, it didn't.
Sharon told Brenda to send a check for $1,350 to cover the first and last month's rent and security deposit. But a week and a half later, Sharon got this cashier's check for $3,800 drawn on a Honesdale, Pennsylvania bank. The next day, Brenda sent an email saying it was a mistake and asked Sharon to send the difference, $2,500, to a travel agent in Georgia. She said she needed the money for an airline ticket. So instead of the $1,300, she sends you a $3,800 check. And she claims her boss sent the check?
Sent the wrong amount, correct.
Does that sound right to you in any
No,
way?
it doesn't. That's why I was saying this is fishy now.
Sharon didn't bite. She called the bank and learned the check was bogus.
They're still waiting right now for me to send the money.
They're still expecting for you to send $2,500 back.
But they're not getting it. Not from me.
Sharon Williams played it smart. Each year, tens of thousands of consumers fall prey to fraudulent check scams on Internet sites like Craigslist. It's a growing crime, experts say, and one that's tough to prevent and hard to prosecute.
Watch what happens when we run our online scams. For real.
In fact, the problem is so great, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service teamed up with consumer advocacy groups and businesses last month to create fakechecks.org, a website devoted to educating the public on bogus check scams.
These checks look so realistic that they can actually fake basically almost anybody out.
Ori Glenn Jr. is a top postal inspector in Philadelphia. Glenn says most scammers operate overseas, making investigations and prosecutions difficult but not impossible. He says the Postal Service is making a dent.
One of the things that that helps in that success is the cooperation with other law enforcement agencies around the world. This is a worldwide phenomenon. It is not just something that is hitting just the United States.
Unfortunately, any action against Brenda will come too late to help Andreas. He was unable to find a roommate in time and had to move back in with his mom. Sharon knows her son is disappointed. She doesn't want anyone else to get burned by a gang of Internet predators. A gal named Brenda or whoever was behind the scam.
They're thieves. And I want everybody on Craigslist to be careful.
Craigslist does offer tips on its website to combat scams, including fake check scams. If you think you've been ripped off, call the U.S. Postal Inspection Service and let them know. Jeff Cole, Fox 29 Undercover.
A spokesperson for Craigslist tells us that the website posts scam warnings on every page, and because Craigslist is a local site, the company advises that buyers and sellers deal only with local people.